Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of It's All Related, the podcast where we talk about how to live an intuitive life in a world that hasn't quite caught up. I'm Sonia Choquette here in London this week with my beautiful daughter, Sonia Tully in New Orleans. Hi, Son.
Hi, Mom. How are you this beautiful morning?
I'm okay. I just got a bit of a mood on because it's been relentlessly gray between Paris and London. And just for the first time today, it got on my nerves.
You need sunshine.
I thought I need light. I need to get some light.
We do, honestly. I know that for my spirit, when it's gray and cold and I have to stay inside, I almost feel like a plant that starts to wither after a while. When I lived in Portland, when I went to school, I remember I loved the green in the summer, but in the winter, I always just thought, am I deeply depressed?
Yeah.
And then the sunshine would come out and I'm like, oh, no.
It's environmental. Well, I thought about it today. It's the first moment that it affected me. In fact, 2 days ago, I was celebrating singing in the rain. But today,
literally,
literally, I was walking down the street with an umbrella, singing in the rain, thinking, "Aren't I enlightened?" And then, and then today, I thought, "I am not enlightened. In fact, I have no light. I need some light. I need to get some light." And I was even thinking of how to do that because I wouldn't go get a tanning bed, but
oh my
maybe
gosh,
some
I can't
red
imagine.
light therapy. Oh, and I know. Can you imagine me? I actually can't even tan anywhere. It just gets on my nerves. But I thought maybe red light.
That's a great therapy. It's a great
maybe
solution.
I'll go to a red light. But I definitely felt that it's we're ending, in the Chinese calendar, we're ending the year of the snake. And a lot of people think that the new year, we're going into the year of the fire horse, which is a totally different vibe. But we're not there yet. We are in we don't start the year of the fire horse actually officially until February 17th because we are in the Chinese calendar. So, but energetically, we are winding down. And I think that's part of it too, because they're very different energies. I was thinking about this when I was meditating, a snake energy. And I even had snake dreams in the snake energy. I digress. But anyway,
follow up.
Think of snake energy as in the ground, often hidden, kind of in the background, watching, studying, maybe even staying out of the light, even as an empath who's super tuned in, reading the energy around you, checking out what's the vibe is. We lean naturally into a bit of that kind of energy, but it can be very draining.
Yeah. Well, the term that I think of, the term of just being in the in-between that I love is liminal space. When you've left one and you haven't necessarily arrived to another. And so it's kind of, I think of it even energetically, kind of the same rule of thumb that we always had traveling. Growing up, my mom, way back in her old life, she was a flight attendant. And so we got passes. So we would travel. My family and we would use passes and travel a lot. And one of the big rules of thumb, whenever we were leaving somewhere, was to pay attention because the energy was ungrounded. And when you're talking about Year of the Horse, this transition, I also just feel this topsy-turvy kind of energy. And one of the things, I have a snake tattooed on me. And I love snakes in the sense of as intuitive, empathic people. But one of the things that I know about snakes is that they move a lot on feeling and intuition. And one of my favorite facts about them is that when they shed their skin, they actually, the skin grows over their eyes so that they can't see. And they have to have faith as they molt and move into a new iteration of themselves. So it's the Year of the Snake is very, as you're saying, very internal. But when we're really internal, when we're talking about the spirit world, often it's not as well defined. So it can be very easy to be in, over giving, not having good, as we always talk about, boundaries, being really, really sensitive. But it's sort of like last year prepared us to let go of a lot of the old stuff as we're calling in the horse to something new.
Well, I think that you think about too how a snake moves. And I do like the snake as well. It's not that I'm, disparaging the snake, but
they all have
the snake is kind of slow and observant. It's not moving around that much.
No.
Where the horse is, let's take off, let's go, go. Then that actually is what we need to do this year coming into February. We got to be prepared to be action-oriented, decisive, take our power, not ruminate over things, not sit and observe and analyze. That's the kind of energy that I really believe we are being asked to, and asked to mentally get ready for.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, when I was for New Year's, I went up to a retreat that my friends run called Bayul, and it's a wonderful little property. They have all of these little cabins, and we had they had a New Year's party in the lodge. I had my friend Sophie, who's wonderful. She's a doctor, therapist, just a really wonderful human. But before on New Year's Eve, she said, all right, I got all the girls and said, let's do an intention setting circle. And, I'm like, love. So she set up this beautiful flower mandala, led us in a meditation. And our invitation was to write down what we were letting go of and what we were calling in. And one of the questions that she asked was, what is your word of the year? Like, what's your theme?
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that I do for fun is I take improv. And the other week, a few weeks ago, I went to dinner with my friend Joanne, and it's probably 10 o'clock at night. And she's about 2 blocks away from my house. And I got the intuitive hit to just get out of the car and walk home. Just a few blocks. And she said, sure. Yeah. So I start walking, and half a block before I'm even a block in, I run into a gentleman that I do improv with named Colton. And I find he is so funny. He is so skilled. He is somebody that I really admire. And, I've never seen him outside of class. And so first there's always oh, hey, how you doing? And, we start chatting, and I'm like, you're so funny. And he's like, you're so funny, but can I give you feedback, not a criticism? And I said, sure, Colton, what is it? And he's saying, you're funny. There's a rule in improv called follow your feet, which to me is just another way of saying follow the energy. If you feel a call to do something, and because improv there's nothing scripted. It's like follow the flow of energy, go with it, just act. So I have a tendency sometimes to almost go, and then I get stuck, and then and he's like, every time when we break down these scenes and you say, should I have, he's like, it's so funny. It would have added, I really encourage you to just be bold. And he was a messenger for me, because I've been thinking about that and have been feeling that, not only just in improv, because for me, it's often an energetic mirror, but in a lot of my different rules and areas of my life. So my word of the year is to be bold, which means follow my feet, take up the space. And I remember I was dressed up for New Year's. I'm wearing like a psychedelic captain's hat and these like fun pants, and we're all dressed up. And my friend Gary, who I really love, had heard about this. He said, Sonia, look at what you're wearing right now. Like, what do you mean? Be bold. And I had to laugh, because I was like, I actually do look very bold, but I meant as in think less, act more. Don't worry about having it figured out. Don't worry, which was such a fun, interesting carryover from Colton, because what I also
Same
find
thing.
in the same thing, but when we get too internal, when you don't, follow the flow of energy, when you don't act, you lose your momentum. And when you start to get into that momentum, it's your power. That's where you start to build. It's like you're the snake. We got inward, we got our guidance, we were shedding. And now, all right, instead of not moving that much, vámonos.
Right. That's a good word.
Vámonos. Allons-y. Hiya.
Right.
What is it? What do they say? Yippee-ki-yay.
Oniva. Oniva.
Yeah. What do people's
Yeehaw.
cowboys say? Yeah. No, what are they? I'm like, this has got to be a word.
Andale.
Mama, yeah.
That's well, whatever. It means.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So the key is that we got to get that in our bodies, because that is not a head thing.
Totally.
And I actually think, I was thinking today, one of the great ways to teach people to be a bit, that would be good for their getting in your body, get in your core, get into spontaneity, is hula hoop.
Oh gosh, I remember.
I loved hula hooping.
I know.
When I was a kid, I was a hula hoop champion.
Oh my gosh, we got to get you a hula hoop. Reminds me of growing up in our house. I grew up in, our house was just, it's funny to think about it because, we had psychics and shamans and healers and crystal beds and biomats and our psychic room. And also I remember we had that big hula hoop
it
was a huge hula hoop, and it had all of those like divots, waves on the inside for exercise. And I remember because we would have this living room. My mom would, when she first started switching to phone readings, would sit in this one chair by the fireplace with our dog Misty in her lap. And it was such a sacred little area. But sometimes you would hula hoop. And it'd be so funny to calm down and be like, Mom's talking to the angels and hula hooping.
Well, it's sort of like kind of addressing multitasking on an energetic level at the highest level. You keep your core strong, you get grounded, you have to be able to respond to energy and move it without it throwing you around, and you can build your abs at the same time and have a good time.
Well, and it's your hips.
I haven't thought about hula hooping in years, but I was laying down today thinking, okay, how do I help get the point, get that in your body for people to like, let's go. Because so many times people will move the opposite when because I definitely am I am a fire horse by nature.
Yes.
If anything, I got to hold my horses a bit.
Yeah.
If anything.
For real. Yeah.
But I do know that I don't think a lot. I respond to energy and go with my vibe. So I think I'm going to have a rocket ship to the moon year, frankly. But I definitely don't want to fly alone. I want to bring everybody along with me. And so that's my middle child of 7, I think.
That's so you. You're like, all aboard the Rocket Express. It's so true. But I love that. That's also your inner child too.
Right, I want everybody to be part of the fun.
And you do. As I really see so much of how inclusive you are in so many different ways.
And it just really, I feel like if we could all look at this as what we're doing is we're agreeing to trust ourselves. Yeah. And we're agreeing to trust our spirits, trust life, trust God, trust the world, trust the energy. And you can't make that decision in your head. No. Because you can't measure the energy or experience the energy to trust. So you have to get in your body.
Right. Absolutely. I had a client just the other day, and he was asking me about how to heal, just trying to heal some of his psychic blocks. Right. He's like, I'm sensitive. And what I'm tuning into his energy, and immediately what came in from my guides was, you're not in your body. And and it's not even just about being in your body. Here's the other thing. We have to be in our bodies because our spirit is directly connected to our bodies, but we also have to be connected to our emotions. It's not intuition, but how we feel. they come in as sensations in our physical body. It's like if I'm feeling, when you're feeling really sad, when we're heartbroken, you genuinely feel it in your heart. When you're, it's like when you're excited, or nervous, you feel it in your stomach. These are signals that tell us what's important. It's feedback. It's not guidance. It's different.
Right.
It gives us what it is that we value. But if a lot of times we get so conditioned and shut down around what is often uncomfortable. Like, for example, if you're nervous or you're anxious or you feel afraid, we shut that part down and we go numb, and our spirit pops out of our body and we can't get guided. So it's sort of first in getting into your body. That's also an invitation to pay attention to the sensations and of your emotions, and that they're not good or bad. And the more that we can befriend them, not through intellect logic, what does this mean? How do I feel? Why do I feel that way? Totally different channel. But instead of, if I sit with the sensation, what is it telling me? It's like, oh, you can get really clear of like, I'm disappointed. I'm sad. I'm frustrated. I'm whatever. And when that doesn't become dangerous, as they become, a holy visitor, then your intuition really skyrockets, because you have a very important bit lower feedback system around what you love, what you care about, what's important, where your boundaries are. And that is having to be in your body. And sometimes it's like, that feels really big. So it's like starting with hula hooping. Start with moving.
It starts right
Start
off
with
the bat. Get you
the
right back.
and the physicality of it.
So I think that, and also you just need to know in what you're saying, how much wasted time that you spend trying to figure it out when you actually aren't plugged into the system that gives you the information to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think that what we need to do between now and February 17th is sort of like prepare for a race. It's like, I'm getting ready to spend the next year, not in my head, but in my movement, in my energy field. I'm getting prepared for that. And so I got to start practicing now in the little decisions.
Yeah.
Like, one of the things that drives me nuts, again, because I'm like a born fire horse, when you go to a restaurant, and first it takes forever for the waiter to come. But then when they do come, you're with someone who's like, I'm not sure what I want, and asks a bunch of questions and then says, can you come back? It's like, all right, this is not your final meal. This is not your last meal. Why is this such an unbelievably challenging? Okay, I get it. You need to have your moment, think it over. But when it gets into an extremely long analysis, I think that is really, really like an indication of trying to damage control. I think what really people are trying to do when they can't just go with their spontaneity is damage control.
Yeah, or
like,
even
well,
that.
how
So
damaging is it? You don't get the ultimate meal, but you get something in the ballpark, or like you don't follow the feet because damage control. And I think that if we just decide, what's the damage going to be? The joke doesn't land, the meal isn't fab, whatever. Don't exaggerate the potential damage, is my point.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of like, instead of when we keep saying, I'll wait, I'll do it when I'm ready. Like I'll wait until I'm ready. Really what we're doing is we're training our pet. We're training our brain to stay in what's comfortable. It's like it's to stay in the familiar. That's the ego. It says, I'm going to wait. I need to gather more information. But if you can even just do a tiny little shift and start saying, I'll start and I'll deal with it and adapt as it comes. It actually trains our brain to rewire. And instead of having to have enough information. Actually, the truth is like in following energy and following flow, you have to be in it to really respond. And when we're talking intuition, following energy, it's not about right or wrong. It's about what resonates. What resonates is true. And that's not something that you can do on the sidelines and feel. You have to feel it.
You know, what helps is your language. Like when I'm coaching people and they say, I'll ask them a question to direct their energy back to their intuitive flow. And they say, I don't know, I think, and I'll say, pause. You're already in the wrong lane to get any sign or any clue. It's not, I think.
No.
Take a breath, give me a sigh, kind of sigh into your heart space, move your butt around, wiggle your hips, and then answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's observing from the last row of the bleachers. You're not in the ring.
What I feel energetically because in working with my clients, all my clients and my students who I love, it's all by phone. So how we work is pure energy. It's pure energy. I got no visual, but I can immediately feel the energy go from their belly, connected to their spirit, up to their head. And what I almost see with my guides is sometimes when it's almost like their head's faking them out. They're trying, I'm like, what does your spirit say, or connecting with your spirit or whatever. A simple tool that I start with is connecting to your spirit and then describe it. Give it language. How would you describe this energy and this essence? Hand on your heart, hand on your belly, start to ground in. If you're curious, how does it feel to you? Because when we give it language, give it voice, anchor it in, it's a superpower. But I'll feel, especially my clients, sometimes newbies or people are rolling their head, I feel the energy go up, and then they'll give me an answer. Before I even answer, I already know. So I'll just say, take a breath. But then they'll say things like, oh, it's just loving. And it's not about the spirit being loving.
Peaceful,
it is.
Everything's great. And that's so not what's actually in the field.
And at the same time, how I feel is like there's that part of their ego, intellect, pet, that's almost giving me a little side eye of like right answer.
Right.
Is that right? Did I get it right?
Exactly.
And it's like, this isn't a quiz. And it's not about
not
that.
A test, not a quiz. It's a vibe check. Like, what's your reality?
Yeah. And look, you can't, it's, as you have taught us so much, when you're really connected to your intuition, you're connected to your own authority. You're connected to trusting your own experiences. So if you don't have your own solid connection, then you're going to be constantly looking and you're in your head and you won't trust the energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello, my sweet friends. It's Sonia Tully. And here's one thing I know for sure. Your head and your heart are meant to be the best of friends. And when you live life inside out, your head and heart are one. Being an intuitive, connected soul is all about remembering who you are and uncovering your gems. It is my mission to help you trust your intuition so that you plug back in and reconnect to your authentic self. Check out my soul readings. We'll look deeply at your soul lessons and find your purpose. We'll answer your big burning questions like, what is holding me back in life? Or what's the right job for me? We'll look at what's going on for you right now and give you grounded steps to bring your life into alignment with your true self. There is nothing more that I love than helping people live spontaneously and awaken their inner guide. I can't wait to help you come home. Visit my website, soniatully.com, to learn about the ways I can work with you so that you'll dance through life with clarity and confidence.
I think that rather than talk yourself into, being more spontaneous and trusting yourself, as an overarching personality adjustment. You just had to practice it in little things.
How funny to talk yourself into being more spontaneous with yourself. I gotta be
I know.
spontaneous.
It's like,
the most,
it's like counterintuitive.
the least spontaneous. That's so funny. I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's true. It is counterintuitive.
So one of the things that my teacher told me that I think has helped me be this kind of spontaneous person is he said, early, Charlie said to me in my training, whatever you fear most, do first. Because if you don't do that, then nothing else will happen that you really want to have happen. So I learned that when I was like 12. Whatever you do, fear most, do first and get it out of the way.
You mean don't be like a total procrastinator avoidant? Because like I can
I'm
totally.
not. It's like I do things so fast sometimes I wonder why if I even read the instructions. So I probably didn't, but I'd say 92% of the time that works in my favor. The odds are in my favor.
It's true. I've seen it. I see it. You see it. You see how, it's like, that's where one of the things I love my class of improv, of the practice of following the energy. Just go and you trust of that there'll be road, there'll be the next step will unfold. So I'm curious, what is I don't want to say obvious is the anti-spontaneous, but what's like one spontaneous thing that you've done recently?
Okay. So I want to incorporate Tai Chi movements. There's a whole bunch. You swing your arms, you golf swing, you hit your knees, you twist your trunk, you go up and down on your feet. And I've been circling the wagons on that off and on, kind of drifting in and out, not getting too into it because I know the minute I do, I got to do that first. So today, the first thing that hit me was do that first. So instead of thinking, I did. Got up and did it. I knew that my head was going to interfere. So I put my headphones on and listened to music because I know if I'm listening to music, I'm not thinking.
Yes.
So that was an example.
I love that. I love that. I'm trying to think of where I was spontaneous this week. Actually, and I know but this week improv was a really good teacher for my class this week, and my spirit just wasn't in my body that much.
So it didn't come to class. Your body went to class, and your spirit was still at home.
It really, and I could feel it. But so to my same thing of being bold. So usually what I will try and do is just hang back. And so instead, I just jumped in to do all of these scenes. And I'm going to be honest, I was not great. I kind of hated it. I was not having as much fun, but I remembered I had to just breathe and keep going and just let it go.
Right.
And so even for me to just be spontaneous, and that was a good reminder of, even if it sucks, to just, it's okay.
Nothing.
Let it go, move on. I don't have to be attached.
It'll self-correct.
Exactly. And even in that practice is also just teaching, is reminding me on my body of this level of don't think about it. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going.
What I tell myself, because going back to the restaurant, maybe my alter ego would like to take more time. And so I tell myself, no matter what I've ordered, I'm going to have a new experience.
Yes.
So whatever it is, it will be an experience is valuable. If it's a good experience, it's great. If it's not a good experience, note to self, don't come back here. But it's not dire risk.
Oh, you know what that reminds me of so much is when I go to my favorite restaurants and I order the same thing over and over and over and over again. I order like the same thing. There's a restaurant here that I love called Hungry Eyes in my neighborhood. And I order the same thing every single dang time. And my spontaneous is this week when I go to a restaurant, I'm going to order something different. And it's the fear of getting a dish that I don't like and being disappointed.
Well, that's why I brought it up. It's a big deal. Our inner child wants predictable. In
Totally.
fact, I got to tell you a story about that inner child wanting predictable, because we've talked about me doing book club with Sufi at night. We have
tell our listeners real quick if somebody doesn't know.
I have a 4-year-old granddaughter, and we started something about 6 or 7 months ago called book club. And you were invited to my book club. It's just her and I, and it's bedtime stories.
Incredible.
But it's a whole routine.
Yes.
First she gets her shower, then she gets her jammies, then she puts on her sleep suit, then she comes in, then she gets in bed, then she snuggles up with me. Then we choose 3 or 4 books. They're small. They're very quick to read books. Then we snuggle up in bed, and then when we're done, we play a game for 5 minutes. And it's usually some wild game where she gets under the covers and pretends she's a tiger. And then she jumps out from the covers and attacks me and has claws, and I have to feed her whipped cream. It's just every
and
game.
It's different every night. It's different every night.
She comes up with the game. So yesterday she came in, she was procrastinating. And I got in bed with her and I said, okay, we can only have 3 books and a game. We have 4 books, or 4 books and no game, or 3 books and a game. And she looked appalled. And she said, that is not how we do things around here. That is not how we do things, Nana. We've got to do things the way we do things. And I could see that that really was important to her. And I said, okay, well, here's the deal. Tonight, we'll do things the way we do things, but we're going to be shorter. We're going to maybe not finish every book, because we read the same books every week, because you know the end. And then we'll have a compromise so that you get to bed on time. And so she thought, okay. But I could see we do find security in the predictable, which is probably why a lot of people lose their spontaneity, because they're looking for the predictable and it's not available. But so if say, get on the wild fire horse and ride is too much, well, trot on the horse. I mean, like compromise. Yeah. Compromise. Say, I'm gonna push it a little. Just let's get it going. And I really got that with her yesterday, because she was distraught. She wasn't just pushing back to have it her way. It troubled her. This was her grounding bedtime routine. And I got that. So I thought, okay, let's figure out what we need to compromise on and what we can't, and let's be flexible. So our game was be flexible.
Oh, I love that. And what a great tool of the week. If you're somebody who struggles with spontaneity, with action, movement, doing these different things, just like this negotiation, and just what are the things that we need to keep us, that we need, and where can we invite it? Yeah, something new. And as for me, always, if your ego in like that park that gets anxious, as we call in our world, your barking dog, your pet is really feeling it, reminded that it's okay, with some reassurance that we're just trying something new.
Like you're not gonna get on the wild stallion in the rodeo. You're just gonna trot on the pony around the block.
Right. And also we can try something. And sometimes for myself, what I also do is if I'm doing things, I'll connect with my spirit to reassure my ego intellect Pat. I'm like, okay, Pat, spirit is driving. You are safe.
Right.
You are needed, but we're just going to be curious and have an experience, and we'll decide from there. Yeah.
Just to this point, and we can even talk about it another time, but it so begs the address here is part of that fear. And this brings me to a client I was talking about, is that they just have a massive terror of disappointment.
I know.
It's like, what is that? Maybe I had a lot of disappointments as a kid, so I was able to get over that real fast. But
when you can befriend disappointment,
right? And it's not like like my one client, she was saying, I'm just so afraid of being disappointed, and I said, but it's not absolute disappointment.
Yeah,
it might just be temporary disappointment. Maybe the ice cream cone is the flavor of ice cream isn't the one you wanted, or maybe the tacos were not as spicy as you had hoped here in this new place, but it's not absolute disappointment.
Right now, I'm thinking about what restaurant you go to and who hurt you. You just
let's put it this way: it was a takeout in London, and it did not land. I'm referring to something very recent, and it did disappoint me because I was very hungry, and it was like, really, I waited for this, but good to know I will not be headed in that direction anytime soon for any sort of sit down experience. And I managed to sort of sit through it. I actually think I made a bagel with cream cheese in the kitchen. It was that bad. But I actually have seen so many people waste their lives avoiding disappointment.
Yeah.
That it's like you have spent your whole life avoiding disappointment, that you have robbed yourself of so many wonderful things.
Yeah, well, you make your world small.
You make your world so small. My mom used to say, your world is either a big cup, a little cup, or a thimble.
Oh,
like,
gosh,
don't swim in the thimble. I'd rather slosh around in the big cup. Don't be in the thimble. Because so back to the tool of the week. Ride the pony around the block. Take little baby steps and have the experience, and do know disappointment might show up, but it won't take you out.
Yeah.
So you don't have to steer around it quite so far that you deny yourself a fun and really fabulous life.
Absolutely. And just to the same point of where we're talking about, you're the horse, as we're in this liminal space. Right. Where are we taking action this year? Where are we bringing movement? Where are we following our feet? Where are we making decisions and not thinking about it? That's that horse energy.
And if you can't answer that, where are you wasting time? What chews up all your time?
It's a great place to start. Great place to start.
Because I was wasting time avoiding my Tai Chi arm swings and body shakes. I thought I probably put in a good 90 minutes of thinking about this in the last 6 weeks. And I don't have 90 minutes to sit and think about that. Just do it.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? I do that too. And then I do it. And I think, wow, I wasted so much time and energy resisting it. And if I just did it, it'd be done.
And I actually enjoyed it.
Right?
That's the crazy part. One of my movements was a golf swing. I couldn't even, I had to visually pull it up and look at a golf swing because I didn't know what's a golf swing. My body was so unfamiliar with golf swing. I couldn't even imitate one, but I thought, good. Someone asked me to go play golf.
You got it.
I have nobody on the horizon in the moment, but I will be able to spontaneously say, sure.
Who knows? You're the horse.
Who knows? Maybe the golf course just opened up to me. Maybe a whole reality just came online.
Oh, keep right. Next time you come, there's a place here called Top Golf. I've always wanted to go, and basically you just hit golf balls. We have a date. We have
and what I thought about that? I got the golf swing, and I thought, I'm pretty good at pool. Maybe I could do golf swing. Maybe I could golf. So a whole reality that has never been a part of my long life is now available.
And you know what I'm laughing at? Because I know our family, Nana says, dress your spirit, dress your body well because your Holy Spirit resides in it. Something like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I know you're going to get the cute fit. You're going to get the cute.
I'll get the outfit.
We're going to go to Top Golf, and beforehand, it's going to be like, let's get the outfit.
Let's get the golf gear.
The visor.
Well, I did get the Tai Chi clothes. I did find an online sale for, and this is something else I never do, Skims brand, but it's not the Skims thing. It's the pants, the fleece pants and the hoodie.
Yeah.
It's real baggy. It's not so skimsy at all. It's actually, it should be called bags, but I got it and I thought and I got it in white. So it's going to be my Tai Chi Zen morning.
Told you.
I definitely have to get the outfit because then I have to show up.
Yeah.
Because the outfit invites that's the stage. You put on your costume.
Well, then you look cute, you feel good, and then you want to show up.
And then you don't want to disappoint by not showing up. So these are just some sub prompts to the big prompt of, just do it.
Just do it.
Do it.
Just do the
decide
dang
later.
thing.
I mean, we're not asking you to skydive. If you are being prompted that way, go for it. But if it's just, do I want to go to this restaurant or that, or what movie do I want to see? Just do it.
Just do it.
Just choose. So
love
with that in mind, what do you have going on?
Well, let's see. Actually the biggest thing that I have going on is I'm excited for your mentorship class.
My certification.
Your certification.
It's called the Gifted Intuitive Certification Training. That is starting February 4th and 5th. And if you're listening and you feel like, you know what, ladies, I am with you. You are my people. I am highly intuitive. I want to help people too. And you feel like you could really use a vocational track that will take these skills to a master's level, then look at the notes below because it's coming up fast and it's going to be a game changer. I'm really excited about this.
I am too. This is going to be really exciting. What are the dates? Because I know you have 3 live classes.
I definitely have 3 live classes coming up fast and furiously, January 20th, 21st, 22nd.
How exciting. I think that's the week that this is released. So
I'm just pausing to see, is this, and it's noon to 1, it's noon to 1 Central Time USA, 6 to 7 in London. You can kind of do the math, all the details. If you look at the notes, it'll take you to the invitation. So whether you want to do this for others or just sharpen your own skills, the 3-day free masterclass is going to take you out of your head and put you on the horse. Let's just put it that way.
Absolutely. So come and join us. I feel like the things that I'm going on later this month, but as always, I'm doing soul readings and mentoring. So if you want, book a reading with me, or if you're curious about working one-on-one, you can book a discovery call and see if working together is a good fit. And as always, now it's our time for our question of the week. And if you'd like to write us, you can write us at itsallrelatedpodcastquestions@gmail.com. We absolutely love to hear from you. And this week we have a question from our beautiful listener, Lenora. Hi, intuitive family. I've got a question to someone who is just starting out reclaiming her intuition. I'm like, hi, Lenora, or Lenny.
Hi, Lenora.
It's Lenny. It's almost a little overwhelming. It's not that I'm getting any guidance. I'm getting a ton all the time. I'm actually scared that I'll miss something or won't act on it because it's so much information at once. I try to live spontaneously, but it feels like once I get that spark of inspiration, before I've completed what I've been asked to do, there are 7 more things vying for my attention. It's an incredible problem to have, but I'm feeling worn out. I've made a deal with myself for every 2 days. I pull out a tarot card and plan the 2 days based on that card and what I'm feeling. I thought that would be a happy medium. She said pun, and that's funny. But for someone who's a bit scattered, I'm also worried that I'll miss out on the sudden guidance by relying on external tools and not sitting with the discomfort of getting back in sync with myself. Due to some childhood trauma, I feel like I lost that connection a little earlier than most. So I thought I'd ask the experts. Should I ride the wave of discomfort or try being a little more intentionally focused to this stream of inspiration? Should I give my barking dog those 2 days to listen to my higher self, or is that giving my ego too much freedom? Yours truly, Lenny.
Well, Lenny, first of all, thanks for writing in. Very good question. And here's my response. I use this, it's something I put in my very first book, The Psychic Pathway, which might be helpful to you, is write it down. That way you don't have to think or not think or sit or not sit. If you get a gut feeling, a ha-ha, a hunch, anything intuitively, write it down. Now, with smartphones in our hands, you can just pull up your voice recorder and the Notes app and just record it, and it gets written down for you. And then, go back, go walk on something, sleep on it, walk on it, but don't ruminate on it. Don't just keep moving, sleep on it, walk on it. And I wouldn't talk on it. I wouldn't take it to other people, but you could journal. And I'd keep that journaling to 10 minutes. I even created the Trust Your Vibes journal for those prompts to help you so you don't fall into a rabbit hole back in your head. And then I would say the other thing, and I've written this down both in Psychic Pathway, which again, I'd say that's a good book for you, is the best intuition follows clear priorities. So, what are you interested in? You don't want to be intuitive about everything. It's like listening to 100 radio stations at once. Just write down your top 3, 4, 5. These are the things that matter to me. I'm going to tune in. I want to pay attention to this. So you narrow the field, because you want to be selectively intuitive, not just tune into every bit of everything, because you will flood your nervous system.
I love that. And that's true. And I'd say this, where you're talking about Lenny, first of just even as you were saying from our conversation today, training ourselves not only to be spontaneous, but of giving our pet a little bit of room while following our guidance. I'd say, in pulling that, you could have that your guidance of my overarching theme, but again, check in with your body. Does this feel good? Does this feel good? And if you're not sure, put on a song, dance, hula hoop, do some Tai Chi, go for a walk. It's a really great way to instantly quiet your barking dog. And then go to your heart. So does this feel good? So it allows you a flexibility. It's not an either or. It's not like you have to follow it or not. And when we're following that sudden guidance, it becomes a pull. And if we can make it playful and light, it's because it's our head, even when this question gets really, really, really serious and wants to do it, in a specific way. Tarot is a wonderful tool. Oracle cards are a wonderful tool, but none of it is a mandate, basically.
They're not telling you what to do. They're pointing out what you want to maybe pay attention to.
Yeah. And I'd say in terms of that, you're worried about missing guidance, I'd say reassure your pet. I'm not going to miss guidance that is meant for me. And true intuitive guidance, that's really important. It's very, it's like the ones where we're like the big flags. If you're intentionally listening, you will not miss it. You will not miss it. It will. It's not it's not like the cash grab prize where it's like, you have 30 seconds or that's it.
Right. Or you miss it. Don't motivate yourself with fear. Just say what I'm afraid of. Just name it out loud. I'm afraid I'll miss it. I'm afraid I'll blow it. I'm afraid I'll get it wrong. And then you just breathe and say, and my spirit says, just fill in the blank. So you don't have to, again, don't play dodgeball with your fears. They come and go, but real intuition will be consistent even in the face of fears and underneath all that.
Yeah. And I'm like, you can give your barking dog those 2 days, but even in just pulling a card, maybe we can involve spontaneity and involve flexibility by responding to the energy instead of have to have too much freedom. It's like if I pull my card and this is my message, okay, how can I playfully apply it and have that be also an intuitive game? But I love what Mom said, write it down. It's a great way. Also huge.
It anchors it in your life, in your nervous system. Plus, in a couple of weeks, you'll have evidence about what real intuition feels like, because there's a physical feeling with the intuition. And as you're writing it down, it gets in your body. When you feel that feeling, you'll know within a matter of weeks. Pay attention.
Totally. And just in that same thing of writing it down, because I'll do this too. I have a little notebook that I carry with me, a tiny moleskin, and I'll just write everything down. And within that of just starting to review it, you'll know what's just chatter. For me, I'm like, oh, that's just my head wanting to add to the to-do list. And I'm like, oh, there's my guidance. And just those same tools, those practices help to anchor those vibrations as our normal. So I love that. Thank you for this beautiful question, Lenny.
Really great question. And we are in the liminal space, but getting ready to have a very active, forward-moving life experience. So do think about the things that you want to move toward.
Definitely.
Do think about them.
Yeah.
And lean into yes, yes, yes around those things.
Absolutely. And you know what? I say yes, yes, yes. I love my mommy. You're the best. I had just a wonderful time. And we just love all of you listeners. You're a part of our soul family. If you liked this podcast, please don't forget to rate and subscribe. It helps us so much. Leave us a comment. It helps us more than you know. Send us a podcast question. And we just love you. And we'll see you next week. Love you, Mom.
Love you, Son. Love you, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.